Everybody heard you say it's a great show in my house.
I didn't know we were on.
Oh, we are live. And this is my mom's first time to Periscope with just the two of us, and we're in her home, so this is fun. I'm trying to get her used to this so she can do her own Periscope on a regular basis.
I'm learning from you.
You're learning from me.
We switched it now.
I'm the teacher about Periscope. Anyway, thank y'all for joining tonight. I'm excited to introduce my mom. Look, Mom, the Carvers are joining.
Hi.
From Pennsylvania. This is my mother, Devi Titus, and she's the author of the Home Experience book, which I have right here behind me. And we are in her home, and I had announced earlier today at noon that I wanted to talk to her about the home and the home experience and just what she goes all over the world teaching. Do I have any followers from Brazil tonight? I might, if we get a minute for them to join, because Brazilians love Periscoping. And okay, hi y'all.
Hi Brazilians, I love you. Eu amo vocês. Muito, muito.
Oh look, I'm from Brazil. There you go. And Fernanda follows often, so maybe Fernanda will be on as well. But yes,
I just flew in from Brazil this morning at 5 a.m.
This morning, and then at noon I asked her to Periscope, and here we are. She's Hawaiian. Oh look, there you go. Can you read that? I don't know.
Igreja, sim, internacional. Yes. Beso.
Like, I had no idea that was your mom. I loved that study, somebody said. And we're in the Bourne's house representing down the street. Fernanda is here.
Awesome.
And there's someone else from Brazil. So good. So good to see y'all. My mother has spent a lot of time in Brazil the last 3 years.
Oh, 4 years. I just finished 4. I'm starting my 5th year.
Yes.
Yeah, actually over 200 days last year I was in Brazil. So.
Hi from Nashville.
Hi, Nashville.
And Brooke is watching.
Awesome.
So this is good.
Well, I can see with Periscope. I would have to wear my glasses if I can see all those little posts, because I'm only repeating what she's saying. I cannot see it.
My mom is not quite 70, but it's right around the corner, and y'all know that she looks pretty good for her age, right? So anyway, Mother, tell us about the home.
Okay, well, the home experience was birthed in 2001, actually. It's a concept, but that has a foundation of biblical revelation. And really the truth is that the home is the institution, or the family who lives in a home is the institution that God created, where the human heart would be formed. And the human heart actually needs 2 things. It needs love and it needs peace. So if home is the environment where the human heart is formed, go ahead and conclude the home must have an atmosphere of love and peace. And you've probably heard Trina say that there are 3 things that every person must have: love, significance, and security. Well, significance and security is actually an outcome of love. So when love is established in the home, it creates significance and security. If we don't have love, if we grow up in an environment with rejection, for example, the end result is aggression. So if you're having a lot of aggression in your home, people are not feeling secure by love, because God created the home to be the environment where the human heart is formed. You've probably heard the old saying, home is where the heart is. Did you know that actually came from a Catholic, I guess we would call him a priest, from the very first century after Christ? And that has been carried, that's quoted in every language. Home is where the heart is. But I added the word formed, because it will either be hurt, hardened, or hindered, or it will be made safe, sensitive, and secure, depending on what happens within your home.
Y'all, if you would like to share this and you're getting excited about what you're learning and what you're hearing my mom, Devi Titus, say, y'all just, someone said, oh my gosh, it's Devi.
Hi.
Y'all share it, and thank you for those of you who are sharing. You can swipe up and down or to the side, depending on if you have an iPhone or an Android. And then just right below there, it'll say share, and you can share it to Facebook or Twitter, and then others can see what you're watching, and then they can follow along. So thank y'all for sharing, and I would love if you would continue to share. Hi, Krista. Good to see you guys. Good to see you on Periscope right now. So anyway, we're talking to my mother, Devi Titus. If you have not met me before, they say I'm from New Beginnings. Awesome. I'm Trina Titus Lozano, and I'm her daughter, and I am a counselor and an ordained Christian minister, and I use these concepts on a regular basis in my home. And I learned it from my mother, and she learned it from her mother, and her mother learned it from her mother, and so on and so forth. And then my daughter, who's watching right now, Brooke Saylor, if you guys know her, she learned from me, and then she's teaching her daughters, and Brittany's teaching her daughter as well, and Chelsea as well. So, I mean, it just goes on from generation to generation to generation. So this is the important thing about, hold on, let's see here. I gotta make sure I catch the trolls. There we go. There's Kezia.
Hey, Kezia. That's my daughter in Brazil. She's your sister.
That's right. She is. I do love her.
Kezia
She's so precious.
Kezia is actually teaching this directly from the Home Experience book monthly to the women in her church.
This book is also published in Portuguese, and you can go to the website kingdomglobal.com.
Yes, and in Brazil, it's renoglobal.com.
Okay, do you want to repeat that?
Yeah, renoglobal.com, which is .com, and you can order it from there.
The Portuguese copy.
Yes.
And Miran is watching too.
Hi, Miran. Tudo bem?
So anyway, I describe a little bit better
what?
than I did the beginning, the foundation of just restoring the dignity and sanctity of the home,
Well,
what Edward Gibbons had shared, or what he had written about.
My passion is to restore the dignity and sanctity of the home, and where actually I developed that terminology came from Edward Gibbons in the year 1788. He wrote one of the most widely read books or series of books of all times. It's still used in university assignments, and it's called The Decline and Fall of the Roman Empire. And he cited 5 basic reasons great civilizations wither and die. The number one reason, and I think this is really important in the political discussions that we have right now in America, but really all over the world, he said that great civilizations wither and die, number one, because of the undermining of the dignity and the sanctity of the home, which is the basis for human society. And I thought about that, and I knew that God had created the institution of the family, and the home is where the family lives. And I thought, if great civilizations can be torn down, think about the Greek civilization, the Roman Empire. They don't exist today, and many other, because when the family values are disintegrated, then everything else begins to crumble within the greatness of a nation. When we don't have the stability of a family, we will lose the stability of our economics. Without stability of a family, you stop producing children. Without children, you don't have a generation of workers to sustain economics. You then have to bring foreigners in, and it depends. Then you have a mixture of values.
Vicious cycle.
It is a vicious cycle. So
we need to be fruitful and multiply, y'all.
So then I said, okay, if undermining the dignity and sanctity of the home breaks down great civilizations, then restoring it will create great civilizations.
Right.
So I began
They say Portugal has this going on. That's what Felipe just said.
Yes, and I have a strategy of how to bring evangelism to Portugal and transform
Kara
this nation.
LeVay. Hi, Kara LeVay.
So I created this curriculum. It is very, this is a manual. It's thick. So in one little
It's a
section,
coffee table book.
It's a coffee table book. It's beautiful. It's something it's a reference book.
Yeah.
You refer back to it. But it's based on principles. So when we create an environment in our home, we must know what the principle is.
A textbook.
Yeah, a principle is a truth that uses reason. So once you know the principle, you can apply the principle in many different ways. For example, Trina creates a very different environment in her home than I do in terms of decor. but the environment of love and peace is not compromised. So
Right.
you don't have to copy or do something the same way. You just know the principle, and that's what I teach in the home experience.
Right, because I mean, we all have our own personality. We all have our own bend to how we want to raise our family. But so it's not about that. It's not about the specifics, but it's about the principles, the bottom line principles, which I will continue to talk about for the rest of the week at noon and 9. That's right, principles are transferable. I should have Felipe help me.
Exactly. Thank you, Felipe.
So Felipe, what else do you know about the home experience? He could totally do this. Hey Felipe, tomorrow I think you should be my special guest at noon talking about the home experience and how it even impacts you.
Yes,
As a single man in your 20s, in your home, you still use the principles. So that's right.
And
You're
Felipe-
yourself. Brooke says your individual identity.
Exactly.
Kezia says it's my treasure book. Always set the table. So yes, there's lots of things. All great change in America begins at the dinner table. Is what President Reagan says. That's a great quote.
right.
Great quote.
You know, I was watching the news tonight, and I'm just somebody needs to teach me how to Twitter these news channels because they need to hear what I have to say. Come on, you guys, let's talk about the family. And I was so grateful that the Pope talked about the family this past week when
And
he
marriage.
visited. Look, guys, we have to focus on this.
Yes.
There's really no excuse, and it brings such fulfillment. Let me just explain before we would close out this show why God created the human heart for love and peace. And of course, the home is where the heart is formed. So
Right.
love and peace must be in the home. One symptom of not feeling loved is aggression. What aggression does is it is your defense mechanism for preventing your perception of what could be painful. So you become aggressive to push it away. That's because you think you're going to be rejected.
Right.
The symptom of not having peace is addiction. So addiction of any kind, it can be legal or illegal. It could be addicted to sleep, always wanting to take a nap when you come home. It can be addiction to shopping. Doesn't have to be drugs, medication, alcohol, but it could be all those things too. Those give a temporary relief of anxiety, a lack of peace. So when we're filled with anxiety, frustration, confusion, fear, this is a lack of peace. And
These Starbucks.
these are found in the home. But why does the human heart need these two things? Because God created us in his image. God is love.
Yeah.
Jesus is the Prince of Peace. So in the heart of every human being, no matter what nationality, race, color of skin, language, we all have a need to know God. It's a desire. And knowing God is to know love, an unconditional love. And Jesus is the Prince of Peace. God sent Jesus so we can have peace. And really, you don't have peace without really understanding these two things. The sad thing is many of us know God and we know Jesus, and we still live without accessing the power that they have to us. And we make choices that then complicate our life outside of what his desire is for you.
Right,
So-
and the Holy Spirit, to mention the other part of the Trinity there, the Holy Spirit is the presence that we feel in our home whenever we invite love and peace, and when we invite the presence of the
Yes.
Holy Spirit in our home, that creates the atmosphere of love and peace.
Well, if you think of the Holy Spirit as the third Trinity, of course, person in the Trinity, he is actually the presence of God
Right.
and the power of redemption blended. And so when you have the presence of God and the redemptive power of Christ, that's how God dwells in us, is by the Holy Spirit.
That's right.
So that was a great point that
And when we
up.
carry his presence everywhere we go in our home,
Yes.
his presence is going to fill our home
Yes.
and fill us with, like what I had said, with the fruits of the Spirit before,
Yes.
which is
Our
love and joy
identity-
and peace and all those
Our
things.
identity is who God created us to be. And then Jesus brings the power of redemption in our life so we can live in freedom because of Christ. And then the Holy Spirit gives you power to have your character and your entire nature conformed into their image.
And that can happen all day, every day, all night, every night, regardless of the circumstances.
Yes.
So it's not about the circumstances. It's not about how much money you have in your account to pay your bills. It's not about how much food is in the refrigerator. It's not about anything. So the tensions and stresses that life would normally bring don't actually add stress, because we're too blessed to be stressed, and we just give those burdens directly to the Lord. So none of those life situations take the peace from our home.
That's right. But I do think that we really undervalue in our spiritual life and in our spiritual process, we undervalue the significance of the home in relationship to our own spirituality. It is our sanctuary. So the dignity and the sanctity of the home, to restore that, is really restoring the worth and value of the home in relationship to the human heart. So it's restoring the way we think about the home in relationship to the heart. And it is not wrong. In fact, we need to reevaluate how we spend time and our money, because your time and your money really reveal your true values. You can say your family is important or your home is important, but if you don't spend time there and you don't spend money on it, let's say you spend all of your extra money on your clothing, that means you are more important than the comfort of your family. You need a comfortable sofa in your home. You need things to be able to serve your family with. And they don't have to be expensive, but it is right for you to prepare, to save, and to make your home a place that your family wants to be in.
You know what? A car is a necessity, but you want to invest in your home. You want to invest in your home.
Well, I want you to look at...
Some people have really nice cars, and they live in homes that would be embarrassing if anybody walked in there.
Yeah, but when our homes are not a place we want to come to, they're filled with confusion, or they're simply
avoid it.
They're not comfortable, we avoid it. But look what happened in the last 20 years in the disintegration of the family, the devaluing of the home being essential to the human heart. We have huge commercial endeavors that have become billions of dollars. Starbucks, what did they do? They created a home atmosphere. What did Barnes & Noble do? They created a home atmosphere.
Yeah.
Comfortable seating, tables, eye to eye, face to face. Read books while you drink coffee. They're replacing an environment the human soul must have,
which is home.
So we do need to elevate the value of the home, bring some structure, some order into it, so everybody there wants to be there.
Somebody just said, what about when you're single?
Yes, just as important.
Yes, and let me just say, whether you are married or not married yet, whether you have children yet or not children, it's about where you actually live, where you hang your hat, okay? My grandmother is 92 years old. She lives alone. Well, actually, now she has someone staying with her. But you know what? She essentially lives alone. She owns her own home. Still, she cares for herself. She still sets the table. She still cooks for herself. She still makes dinner. She still has company. She still has overnight guests. She still has a home, and home is her home base. So regardless if you're single or married, if your children are still home, or if your children have left, or if you haven't had children yet, it doesn't matter. Where you live is your home. So instead of meeting somebody last week, instead of meeting a friend at Starbucks for coffee, I invited her to my home.
Yes.
How about you come over on Tuesday at 9 o'clock for tea in my home? And so you guys just get in the mindset that your home is a special place. It is a special place that is valuable. And inviting people into your home. We had a whole big group of people in my home to watch the Cowboys football game. So any reason to have people in your home is a significant reason. Even when my husband travels, I cook nutritious meals for my kids and myself, and it shows value. Also, Brooke, what you do is you invite others into your home on a regular basis. You're constantly including others in your home.
Well, you know, for me, when I was a young mom, you guys were little, and we pastored a church. We had very, very busy very busy lives. To invite someone was a motivator, and it also enforced discipline in my own life. So when I maybe would let things go and not keep it as tidy or not keep it as...
I wasn't a messy kid, was I?
Are you kidding me?
I don't think so. I think I was the kind of kid that just sat in the corner quietly.
No.
I was probably climbing the walls and making messes all over the place.
My point is, when it could be preparing for, if you're at home, a stay at home, but even if you work, most of us do, you prepare in advance that the family's all going to be together in the evening and it's going to be fun. So you might set the table in advance, but the preparation for something or a commitment to do it gives you discipline.
That's
and
what
gives you motivation.
Brooke just typed and said, yeah, invite someone over, you'll make sure you get clean. My friends used to say, Trina, your house is so clean. I don't know how you do it. It's so picked up. And I said, look, invite friends over and I bet yours will be picked up by the time they get there.
So actually one of the not principles, but one of the just phrases that I have coined in my own life is responsibility enforces discipline. When you commit to a responsibility, I'm going to give a baby shower in my home, it enforces a responsibility.
Right.
So if you're struggling creating order, commit to host something in your home and you will get some.
You'll get it in good shape.
You'll get some of those things done. Anyway.
Have you ever seen this? That people will list their house to sell, and while it's listed,
it's so beautiful.
They'll make it perfect for everybody to go through so that they can sell it and move. And it's like, wait, now that the house is clean, y'all should stay and enjoy it.
It's true. It's
true.
It's
like you get it repainted and you get it all staged
for someone else.
For someone else, hey, stage it for yourself to live in. It's a great way to live.
So you know what? Always add something new to inspire yourself.
Felipe says, talk about Titus 2 tonight. So I'll let you close with Titus 2.
Well, I think Titus 2, Felipe, has a whole show, actually.
So maybe at noon tomorrow. You want to talk about Titus 2? Are you busy at noon tomorrow?
I think we could do that at noon.
Okay, y'all, let's do it. Okay, you heard
that.
The commitment. So the responsibility and the commitment that you just made
enforces a discipline.
Enforces a discipline. So you and I will be together at the office at noon tomorrow. Okay, y'all, we will be in the office at noon tomorrow, periscoping with you. My mom's in town, so I'm going to take advantage of this opportunity.
And maybe as we close, you could just look around your house and say, what can I bring a little bit more in order that will take away the feeling of confusion in my environment? It could be just picking up a few things, or just start small in a small piece. You can start that today, and then tomorrow can be another day.
Pick up the house before you go to bed. There's your tip for tonight.
Or pick up the room.
Just pick up one room before you go to bed.
Right.
Anyway, y'all, thanks for joining us on Periscope tonight. It is such a pleasure having friends and family and even newcomers from all over the world join us. I Periscope twice a day at noon and 9 Central Standard Time here in Texas. That's what time it is. But it's been a pleasure being with y'all. It's such a pleasure to be on Periscope with you guys. Good to see you again, Wendy and Kezia and Brooke and Felipe and everybody.
All my Brazilian friends.
We love all of you. And Denise was even on tonight. So good to see you guys. All right, tomorrow is another day, and we'll see y'all at noon. God bless you. Good night.
Good night. Love you.